Hello everyone, this is Jeffrey Deckman from jeffreydeckman.com. I am a researcher, an innovator, a practitioner, and a strategist of conscious leadership mindsets, models, and methods. And I am sitting out here in the woods of Tennessee. I did about a year or so ago, I did a whole series of these wisdom from the woods videos where I would come out, sit down, and because I'm in nature, I sort of open up my consciousness and things sort of get dropped into me. And some of them are worthy of sharing. So the ones before were in Rhode Island. And several months ago, I moved from Rhode Island to Nashville. So I am speaking to you from Nashville. So what I want to talk about today is how important it is for us as leaders, conscious leaders, to be able to work as healers and connectors within the various communities that we interact. You know, I don't have to tell anybody about how much calamity and divisiveness and just stuff that's going on. You know, it really feels like we're in some form of a collapse. And, you know, you could either look at it as a form of collapse, or I prefer to look at it as a place of transformation. And transformation is always tricky. Transformation's much bigger than change. To me, change is about making adjustments to an existing model. I think where we are today, because we're post-industrial age and we're now in this new age of information technology, we're in an age where the workforce is much more conscious and more demanding than it's ever been. And there is as a result of going from that industrial age model, which was around for 300 years, to this new information age, there's a lot of shifts and changes that are taking place, a lot of disruptions, a lot of old models that no longer work that we have to do away with, and new models that we have to develop and put in place. And that's really what I've been doing for the last 15 to 17 years, is doing a lot of work on that. And you know, one of the things that's really coming to me, especially as I sit in a forest, is something that I read in this amazing book called The Secret Life of Trees. And if you have never heard of it, I urge you to take a look at it, either buy it or listen to it. That's how I did it. I listened to it on a 7-hour trip through audible.com. But it's really an amazing piece. One of the things that it talks about is how brilliantly trees collaborate with one another for food sources, energy sources, water sources, etc. And even those are a lot of different species of trees, and some of them do compete with one another. They always make sure that there is enough for everyone. And as a result, forests are incredibly diverse. They're very diverse. And that diversity is what allows them to sustain. Because if there's just one specific species and some type of a disease or insect comes through that is deadly to that disease, well, the whole forest dies. So diversity and collaboration and even communication. Trees communicate with one another in incredible ways that will just blow your mind. Everything from sounds that they make to scents that they give off. It's really quite amazing. But anyway, my point today is that it's really critical that as leaders that we engage in conversations that are not about divisiveness, but they are about collaboration. And I personally am pretty much done talking about what is collapsing and lamenting on what is going away and what will no longer be here, and projecting any negativity into the future. I've done that for a bit. And some of it was just to understand it and to assess it and to express the concerns I had. As I was doing my research, and I saw a lot of the collapse that we're seeing. You know, we have economic issues, we have pandemic issues, we have a massive issue going on with regards to where it's institutions working against individuals in so many ways, whether it's government or big business or big pharma or higher academics. You know, it just seems like everybody's looking to try to get a piece of the individual. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we're facing. So, and at the same time, we see a lot of racial diversity, and we see a lot of gender issues that are coming up and all that type of stuff. And whatever concerns you is fine. You know, nobody has a right one way or the other. But I think that the most important thing for us to do, and what's really, really most needed, is for us to, as conscious leaders, begin to see things from a higher level of consciousness and be able to speak to that, to speak to inclusion, to speak to the future with optimism. And yeah, there's some changes going on, but we can either let those changes really disrupt us and destroy us, or we can use them as a platform to catapult ourselves into a whole new exciting world. I mean, the way the world was certainly has some problems, and the way the world's going to be is certainly going to have some problems. None of this is perfect, but I think we're really at an exciting time where people are really looking for a new way. People are really tired of this red versus blue and black versus white and gay versus straight and just all this divisiveness. You know, we're human beings, and we're all here, and we share common air, and we share a common sun, and we share a common planet, and we share common dreams for ourselves and our children. And you know, you look around, and there's not a whole lot of discussion going on about how do we bring ourselves through these challenges as a tribe. And as members of humanity, that's what we are. We're a tribe. And I think we really have an opportunity to function as tribal elders and to speak to the positivity, and to speak to the hope, and to speak to the excitement of these changes, and to calm fears, and to let people know that we're going to be okay. I mean, humanity's been through a lot of collapses of civilizations. I'm not saying we're in the middle of one, but, you know, Rome collapsed, the Khmer collapsed, the Aztecs collapsed. I mean, these were civilizations that were around for thousands of years. The American culture's only been around for 300 years. So, and on the other side of that, you know, look where we ended up. So what I would urge everybody who's listening to this and who considers himself a conscious leader, and it doesn't have anything to do with what position you hold in your family or in a business or anything like that. A conscious leader is a state of mind, and it's a level of consciousness, and it's one that leads more with the heart and not with the mind, and it's one that expresses compassion and empathy and excitement and joy. And there's a real need for that. And so I, for one, am going to take that position moving forward, that is what I'm going to put out into the world. In the midst of all the chatter of all the other stuff that's going on, I want to be a calming voice. I want to be an excited voice. I want to be a joyful voice. And I want to see who wants to join me, because I think as we do that, just as there's a lot of examples of, quote, leaders in each of those other environments that I described a moment ago, really rallying their troops to take up arms for them and against others and that type of stuff. I think we really have an opportunity to take arms, to rally our like-minded folks to put down arms, not take up arms, but put down arms and work for what you want. Don't fight against what you don't want. Take that energy that you could use or maybe had used in fighting against someone else's position, and instead work for what you believe in and what you want to see. Because every time you take your energy and you attack another tribe, another thought tribe, what happens is you create an enemy. And sooner or later, that enemy is going to come back and look to attack you and your thinking. So I'm moving away from that. I'm not doing that anymore. I've been doing that less and less quite a bit over the last year or so. And so for all of you who in your own individual space want to be able to become part of the solution and step away from the problem, I urge you to work for what you want, not against what you don't want, and bring peace and a level of consciousness into that. And as you do that, encourage other people who want to work for what they want to do that as well. Because if we're looking to work in the best interest of everyone, we're working in the best interest of ourselves. And that's just how it is. Because just like all these trees are connected, all of us as people are connected to the same earth, to the same air, to the same sun. So, that's what I got today. The wisdom of the woods from Nashville, Tennessee. And I hope you have an awesome day. This is Jeffrey Deckman from jeffreydeckman.com. And thanks for playing. And I think I'm out.